like what I like my week as a coach looks like, sitting in during scrims, taking notes for the team, recording all 5 POVs, whatnot, doing like the basics. And then outside of scrims, ideally I meet with one or I mean, I see you guys have multiple captains, so the captains.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, it kind of like differs how the whole captain situation
right.
is
I
like.
mean,
I've yeah,
it doesn't have to be like the captain or whatever. Like
yeah.
at the end of the day, everyone's on the team. But like, meeting with somebody before or after scrims, talking about like making sure I like to have my thought process is as a coach, I want to have a very close connection to at least one player because then that allows um, both the player to relay their feedback they have for the team to the coach, and then I can give it as a like an outside standpoint rather than it coming from someone who's playing, and prior biases can kind of affect how people take the criticism.
Yep.
And then also like it allows me to kind of have my voice be heard while you guys are playing. Um, if I have a player on the team who kind of knows how I like to coach and like where my ideas of siege come from and whatnot. But I mean, to answer your question, like I would say like player development, a little bit of strat creation, but more so like theory work and like macro rather than the micro like stuff of things.
Yeah.
Um, and then I can do a little bit of analyst work as well. Like I have experience in it. I would prefer not to just because it eats away at the time I have for coaching, and also like
Yeah.
with me getting a job now and stuff. I don't know how much time I'll have.
Okay.
But yeah.
What do you close in your new job, or like what's up with that?
So I don't know honestly. I mean, I just got the job. Like literally, I'm working my first day today.
Uh huh.
So hopefully, I find out today. I mean, I would like to open. I'm a delivery driver though, so I don't know how much they'll need me to open. So I'll kind of try to keep you guys posted with what's going on for that. But right now, I don't really know.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, so I've told you this before. Our main concern is a little bit of trust issues. I'm
Right. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
exactly sure how to really approach that. Like, what you could do to like kind of prove yourself or.
So I can. What I'll do, like, I figure I'll explain like what happened from my perspective. Right. You can kind of like. At the end of the day, like I've been in the scene for a while. I get what happened looks really sketchy from the outside. So like, I mean, however you feel after my story, I'm not going to be offended. Right. Like, it is what it is. Um, So during E3 quals, I was LFT as a coach for the first time for a while. I was trying with fluffy aimers and wildcard, or well, wildcard aces.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was going on, so E3 quals were happening. I think the first quals I was able to be there for, but the second qual I was going on vacation for. So it was a little weird during my trials for both of the teams. But
Hmm.
I tried with both teams. I went on vacation during the time I was trialing with fluffy aimers. I think I only really trialed with them for one day, like at properly sitting in with a scrim, meeting the entire team and stuff. I talked to JJ previously before though.
Uh-huh.
But like, so during that sit-in, I recorded the VOD for them. And JJ had sent me a link to a public Google Drive for their strats
Yeah.
to like kind of like what, so I knew what they were doing while I was watching them play. Um, and so that happens. I do the scrim with them or whatever, and then I go on my vacation because I think that was the day before my vacation. I get back from my vacation and I message both of the guys, like both of the captains on each team, asking like, what's going on? I'm back. Like, how are we feeling about like moving forward and stuff? Fluffy Aimers had already found a new coach. I think they picked up DMC like by the time I got back from my vacation. So
Yes.
then I ended up just joining Wildcard. And so I play my season with Wildcard, right? During the season of E3, while I'm working on Google Drive, like a Google Drive, like going through my Google Drive and whatnot and working on sheets or whatever. I don't remember what I was doing. I honestly don't remember when this was either. I just know it was during the E3 season. Um, I look at my like shared with me list on Google Drive and I see that their strap folder is still in my shared with me list just because I had clicked on the public link that JJ had given me,
Yeah.
right? So we weren't we hadn't had them scheduled at all. So I kind of like was like, okay, like I kind of just, took that in the back of my mind. Uh, we play throughout the season. Eventually we get scheduled to go against them. And so, I mean, we had less than 24 hours as a turnaround period. And from my perspective, right, as a coach, I'm going to do anything to I'm going to provide anything I can for my players to win the game, right? This is a tier 2 tournament. Nobody on the team had ever played in a tier 2 league, basically, right? I'm going to do anything we can to win. And since they had not, it was a public Google Drive. I shared, what I did is I copied all of their strats and put them into a new folder so that my players wouldn't have like an updated link to their strats for like future use or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I gave that link, so basically our own copy of it, so it wouldn't be concurrently updated. I gave that link to the team.
Yeah.
Um, but while I was doing this, like while I was doing like discovering this, Foresight was in the call with me and I was screen sharing. Um, so this happens. We play our game. We ended up losing. It didn't even matter. That was an upper bracket game, I think. So then we play our lower bracket game. We lose that game, and then we after that I hadn't talked to the team. I literally after the day of E3, I didn't talk to the team for at all. And then because I've been like I have a lot of grad parties going on, like real life shit that I've been applying for jobs and shit.
Yeah.
And so I haven't been really thinking about Siege at all. I get pinged on Twitter, when that all that shit like happened. Um, and it's the Foresight message of Foresight sending it to a player, not the copied strats, but like the strats, like their actual link, like the concurrently updated link.
Yeah.
That link to I don't know who he sent it to, but a team that was playing them in E3.
Yeah.
Just kind of because he was friends with them. I don't know what his reasoning was for it. Um,
It's a little weird. That's why.
yeah, it was a very weird thing to do.
Yeah.
And so he does that, and then the person he sends it to, I don't know who it was even, but the person he sends it to tells Fluffy Gamers, reasonably so, because that is a very weird thing to do. And then they post the thing on Twitter, and so I didn't even really understand what was going on at first because I didn't know what like I didn't even understand what was going on because I felt yeah. But I mean that's my side of the story. Um, After that, I tried explaining it a little bit, but I mean I was already like, I'm already applying for jobs. Like, I'm already like doing other stuff. So I'm not like super focused on, not that I'm not super focused on Siege right now, but it's like, if my like rep is ruined and all this is fucked after this, like, I'm not going to cry about it or whatever. Right. Like, it is
Mhm.
what it is. I've been doing Siege for a hot minute. So, but yeah, that's kind of my side of things. I mean, I don't know if even if you do believe it, how you feel about the situation, because I do get it can be seen as scummy that I shared the strats, right? Like I get both sides of it, so I mean I get what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm okay with it because to be honest, if I were in your position, I'd probably do the same.
Right.
But it really depends on everyone else because I'm not the only person on the roster and I'm not the
No,
only
and I
voice
get
coming
that.
from the roster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I really do have to hear from everyone else about it. But so far, yeah. So what exactly did you do for Wichita at the time? Did you work with like other coaches or?
So at first, I was brought on as just like a strategic coach, because they had like just qualified for the league, I'm pretty sure, or like we're just getting back into playing or whatever. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, I was like 16 too, so I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And
No.
I was kind of just making strats for them, trying to do what coaching I thought I knew how to do. And then before the Challenger League season started, they brought in Wafer, who now I think is coaching a pro league team in like Asia or something. He's been all around the fucking world. I don't know what he's doing now. But they brought him on, and so with him being more knowledgeable, obviously he moved into more of a head coach position. So that kind of moved me into more of a strategic position, and focusing only really on strats or more like external work, keeping track of like what do other teams ban or like what do other teams pick and like stuff like that.
No.
Um, just being another hand basically for the team. And then they brought on another coach, T. Sace, and he became more of a analyst as well. And then after that, I mean, I'll say like I like slowly kind of stopped being able to work with it. Not being able to work with the team, but like they had their clicks, and the Wafer was friends with T Sace, and he had brought T Sace on as his analyst. So like I kind of slowly got pushed out, which is like understandable. But that so like I made strats. I worked with them, but I'm not gonna sit here and take responsibility for the fucking first place finish. I was more so just like an extra hands for them.
Yeah.
Um, for Myth, which was the team before Wildcard, I was head coach. I worked with. I was like head slash assistant coach. Brando Sando, he's the head coach for Elevate, would be in a lot, and he was more so the head coach for that team. I would kind of just sit and be like a teacher's assistant for him. Taking notes and helping out and stuff like that. I would say Wildcard Aces was the first team that I actually properly head coached. Um, it was a little hard with just because the personalities on the team to be a head coach, but it was the first time I felt like I was actually being able to put my full foot forward and being that head coach or the head leader. Like running, helping run things, like making sure everyone's like putting the time in, like making sure people are knowing what's going on with the strats, making sure everyone's on the same page. Like if there's any arguments going on, helping mediate that, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, after Wildcard Aces, here we are.
Okay. Shoot, I had the question. I just forgot it. All right. So can you show me an example? Because I know you said you had like you kind of work mainly with like player improvement. Can you show me an example of that?
Yeah, like here, hold on, let me pull up my, I think it's like my player goals for the last team and see if I can come up with something. Um, so I mean, what I do each week, and it's on one of the slides. I think it's slide 3 is like it's an older version of the sheet that I use now. Or not slide 3, one more forward, I think. Yeah, that one. So there's a sheet that I have that's similar to that. It contains all of the players' individuals goals. The way I try to develop these goals and like come up with the goals is during scrims, I'll take notes, what I see and stuff. Afterwards, I'll message the players individually, like in DMs or whatever, like what I saw from their perspective, what I think they could have done better, and do they agree, disagree? Like go back in the VOD, like I'll give a timestamp for a round or example, like watch it. Do you agree, disagree? Like we'll talk about it, right? It's not always like this is what you did wrong, this is how you fix it, right? There's discussion.
Yeah.
So that's what I do with players individually. I also like, with the captains, I'll try to ask them, what do you think the players need to work on? And that's where the goals will go as well. Um, on this like little sheet or whatever. Also, I added team goals on this sheet, which will be come from the captains mainly and me as well. For the entire team to work on, like what do we? Is it like are we dying to aggressive teams too much, or like are we not calling what we want to do for our execute? Like if we're killing or planting, um, like on attack or defense, like each side will have their own goals. And then at the top, I have like a list of priority goals um, for the team. Like that will be just like because there's going to be a bunch of team goals. So at the top, like, at the start of the week, we'll pick what are our priority goals, right? What are the 3 or 4 goals that we want to really iron out this week?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I focus on player development and like team development and stuff.
Okay. So I like what I'm seeing so far. So I'm
Yeah, you're good. Okay, I do get it. If it is on, if at the end of the day, if it's about the wild card stuff, I get it, right? Like,
no, no,
I
no.
think,
Like, yeah, I expect you to kind of understand that because I mean, you've told me like 10 times now, but
yeah. Sorry,
yeah, but
I've never been in like an actual like drama situation before. I try to very avoid that, and so when
yeah.
I got dragged into it, it was a little shitty.
Also, it says here that you were a little bit in Europe, or you did a little coaching in Europe. What was that? What was that about?
Oh, so yeah, that was the team that I had like kind of teacher assistant with, like Rando, the Elevate coach. He
Hmm.
coached in APAC, I think. I think APAC's an Elevate or Elevate's in APAC right now. But since he was in a different time schedule, he was able to be there a lot. But that team was like a T3/tier 2. We never properly qualified for anything big, I don't think, other than um one T3 league. It's called Vibrant League. I think they're doing their semifinals right now. But we didn't even end up getting to finish that because the team disbanded before we finished all of our play days.
No, it sucks.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was unfortunate.
I mean, I feel like I've learned enough about you so far. Do you have any questions for us? Anything like that?
What does your guys' like schedule look like? I guess. I mean, just so I can kind of like try to see what it like think about it tonight as well for doing like work.
Okay, so recently Safehold got a job, so he's not able to double scrim as much lately. Personally, me and Big Guy are like the only other 2 people with jobs on the team. So,
Bro, what?
oh,
Excuse
Tristan
me.
has it too, I guess. This is the first time I'm hearing of it. But
Okay.
anyways, so my work shifts usually span between 7 to 1 o'clock. I rarely, if ever, close. I've closed once, but I'm not sure if they're gonna have me do that again. So I work between normally 7 to 2 p.m. Most of the time it's like 7 to 11. So I'm usually able to double scrim. Whenever we can, we normally do double scrim. Other than that, yeah, like we're pretty like all over the place when it comes to like scheduling because like we're able to scrim whenever, but we don't like just try and like find any like random scrim. We try and find like get like teams at our
Quality scrim,
level,
yeah.
yeah, quality scrim, teams at our level or above our level. And currently, it's because we're a brand new team and and there's not too many people in the community that respects every player on our roster. So like we have a lot to prove for ourselves right now.
Right.
Before you can continue consistently getting like those tier 2 tier 1 scrims. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now.
So it's just like whenever people are on, if we see like there's a good scrim, that we try to get on.
Yeah, basically
Okay, that's valid.
we try
Is
and
it like how many days would you guys say you scrim like during the week? Like,
okay,
Every
so
day.
like we've only had like 1 or 2 days off the past month, I think.
oh, okay.
But this
Then we
this week is probably going to be like this is the least like this week we haven't scrimmed as much as we normally do.
yeah, because we always have a game day and
Yeah,
we can scrim on the day because for some little reason. But I mean, today we can scrim, but we do not find a good scrim for.
actually technically we can't anyways because Safehold's car broke down, so he's not even going to be here.
True.
He wasn't going to even be here for the afternoon. But well, we would have been able to double scrim today, but we couldn't find one, and Safehold's car broke down anyway, so it was best we didn't find one anyways.
So you guys are correct. It's not like you guys are just sitting. Okay.
Yeah, like
I just wanted to
there's
like
no
because
like
I
passion problems here. Everyone here is passionate. I mean, I guess the only person you could say maybe you might be a little bit iffy on is maybe Safehold, but I personally think it's because he has to like juggle between like his girlfriend, him having his job and having more responsibilities because
Right,
he's
you
not living with
just said
his
you just got
girlfriend
a
in an
job.
apartment. Yeah, and like he has a social
valid.
life outside of it too. But he does try and make a lot of space for our team and stuff, and um, he puts aside a lot of things for us too. So I don't think his dedication is a problem. The only problem we have with him right now is his lack of what's going on outside of the game. You know what I mean? Like communication.
Sure. Yeah.
I
But
mean, yeah,
it's
that's
not a
pretty good
huge.
at communication.
Yeah, but
Like in
it's
game
not all
and
that bad.
out game. Yeah.
I
I
mean, in
mean,
game it's fine. It's good enough.
not. Mm.
I mean, yeah, it
All
is.
right,
Tristan.
we can talk about that later. We can talk about that later. I guess my other question would be like, what the, hmm.
Our
Well, okay, building off of
accomplishments.
that is more so like the reason I asked that was just because like with the job, I don't know when I'll be able to be on and not. So like, what do you guys want from me if I were to become on as a coach, right? Because I know you guys are in a few leagues, so I could do some like prep and stuff. But like other than that, what do you guys want out of me?
Okay, so we did not talk about that in a team, but like for me, right now, I think I mean, sometimes on coach find scrim, I don't think we need it. I mean, Joros and Big are really fine for finding good scrim and T1 and T2 scrim, so I
Mhm.
think that part is fine. Um, for the part of the strat, I we are not all agree on this, but for my part, I think we need new strat because some people think we can just run bug strat and thing like that. I don't think that's gonna work against like T1 team
Mhm.
or mean and or high T2 team. So maybe focus on this and yeah, and of course the player improvement. I think is that go.
Okay.
All right.
Jottles.
So far, what Big Guy has told me, we're gonna be very picky with our like trialing process with coaches because we want to make sure that we're all on the same page. That was like kind of the because remember how I told you like we weren't like exactly in dire need of a coach
Right.
because
It was just like you yeah.
the reason for it is because we have like a really good idea of how we want to play the game and how like this team is getting approached so far. And what we're mainly looking for is to find someone who has the same vision as big guys and a little bit of minds too. So
Okay, yeah.
that's why we're being like kind of picky with it right now. So but other than that, I personally Tristan has his different ideas when it comes to strats, but I think how we're doing just fine is kind of like how you were saying, like, oh, you think the strat should be created by the players, and that's what we kind of are doing already. The pug strats that we're using, like I mean, they're kind of defaultish, and we're just like improving them based upon like our scrims and what works and doesn't work, and then we just keep like adapting it and kind of changing it. So it's like like trying to find the word for trial and error. You know what I mean?
Right. There's not ever a one answer for Siege. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are like also we don't need to have like one specific like strat for every to run every single time because the teams they can change. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we can
The game changes all the time. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and they should be good for adaptability, and that's kind of the problems that my past teams have had, and I'm pretty sure that's I don't want that to happen with this team, and I want to kind of have like a different approach with this team at least because we like really went heavy into strats, and it was kind of like it got to the point where it was like we weren't adapting. We saw something they did last round, but we bring the same operators and we don't adapt.
Right.
Like
You're just going through the motions rather than actually like playing the game. Yeah.
yeah, and it gets extremely frustrating because then we get like at a stalling point where it's like, or we're not improving. Like, what are we doing? Why are we
Yeah. Yeah.
screaming
That's
every day
valid.
then?
Like I will say, like I feel like my job as coach, that's what I try to focus on too, and like making sure like we're actually talking about what the other team did. Like, how do we want to deal with what they just did on the last map, or how they've been playing, if they've been being aggressive or passive or whatever, right? Making sure that
Mhm.
we aren't just scrimming to scrim, basically.
Yeah, and that's what we're really trying not to have here. Like we even said earlier, like we had like a little talk after one scrim, and it was like, guys, like I think it was against Carnico, and it was like we were just scrimming to scrim, and we said, guys, like what's the point of us scrimming early if we're just not gonna fucking improve? And then after that, we kind of went. After that whole little talk, we kind of everything kind of clicked. 2 days ago from now, for GZ, we were playing the best siege we played in a long time, or at least in a bit, and we were
Yeah, you guys didn't
extremely
drop a map for 3Z, right?
yeah, we didn't drop a single map.
Nice, nice.
So we were very coordinated. Our executes were flawless, especially against wildcard aces. We didn't lose any rounds. The only rounds that we lost, it was basically us like kind of selling a little bit by giving up too
The
many
1v2.
mans, and yeah, in the 1v2. But other than that, we think we can just iron those things out over time, and we have, at least I have like a uh, strong opinion that we will be up there soon, at least for XGS. But
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
we still have a lot to improve though.
Sweet.
At the moment, I think we like expecting our level to be like low T2. I mean, at the same level of like I think we are better than low T2, but like
Yeah.
not that good than like SSG or MKers. But I think our goal is going to be like maybe to reach the same level of them in maybe like 4 or 5 months, maybe.
Right, right, right. By the time next element calls roll around.
By the
Yeah,
time major calls
cause
come around, hopefully, fuck,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah, true, true.
someone's coming
cause
first.
right now I don't think this T2 team who can beat us.
Yeah, like
Except MKers,
Sesh.
Karenko, and
Yeah, all the
Shizek.
top T2 teams are able to beat us right now. But other than but like in teams like Burnt Turkey's team, Sesh, like literally any
Blacklist,
yeah, all the low T2 teams, even like some MXCL teams, yeah, no, they don't really have too much
Okay, for sure.
to go with us. But yeah,
Uh, do you guys have any other questions for me?
no, I don't really have any more questions unless Tristan has any.
you said that you have a new job, right? You're starting today, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you don't really know if you can like what is your schedule? Are you
So
like working the night, the day?
so I don't know what my schedule is. I'm a
Okay.
college student, right? I still live with my parents, so it's not like I have to be working fucking 40 hours a week. Um I can talk to them and kind of see where they need me, and then see after that. I ideally I'll try to be like available of nights, right? I don't know. It's hard because I'm a delivery driver, so I'm assuming they're gonna want me for nights mainly.
Mm.
Um, but I think what it, for the days that I wouldn't be here, or for the days I would be here, I guess wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. I'll just tell you guys what my schedule is when I find out, because honestly, I don't really know what it's going to be right now.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I think that's gonna fit fine with us for now because again, I told you I'm probably saying this like for the fifth time, but we're being very slow with our process for the
Yeah, yeah.
trialing. So like by the time like we're ready to pick up a coach, you
Hopefully,
should
it'll be all
probably
figured out.
yeah. Hopefully you'll
Yeah.
figure out your schedule and see how it might work with ours, etc.
Okay, sweet. Sorry, I didn't mean to like rush the close. I do have to leave soon because I have a 30-minute
Oh
drive.
no, yeah, I get it. Don't worry.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you talking to me. Hope to hear from you soon. I'll see you.
All right, see you, Nebsy.
Yes, sir.
All right.